Welcome back to ELA School Away from School. Just a reminder, I'm your virtual teacher, Mrs. Ewing, and we fourth graders are on our last lesson of the week. So we're on daily lesson 9. Let's go ahead and review our guiding questions. The first one says, what can we learn from the process of ratifying the 19th Amendment? How can stories inspire us to take action to contribute to a better world? How and why can we encourage and support others to contribute to a better world? All right, so materials we're going to need today. We'll need our text. We'll need our lesson 9 lesson planner, as you can see right here, and we'll need our lesson 9 writing activity. All of these materials you'll be able to find in your ELA packet. You're also going to need a sharpened pencil. Go ahead and pause this video and collect your materials. Great. Now that you have your materials, let's look at our learning targets. Our learning target today says, I can report on a topic in an organized manner using appropriate facts and relevant descriptive details to support main ideas. I can speak clearly and at an understandable pace. So I just want to break this learning target down a little bit. First thing we're going to do is we're going to write. We're going to write in an organized manner. We're going to use facts, relevant and descriptive details that we've been learning and picking up and discussing all week long, right? And all of these are going to support this big main idea. But then we're also going to work on not only our writing, but how we're speaking, that we're speaking clearly and that we're speaking at an understandable pace. All right, so now that we know our learning target, let's go ahead and reread the text. So with a family member, a caregiver, or a friend, reread Opinion, Recognition of Black Women's Suffrage Role, Long Overdue. Pause the video and reread now with a family member, a caregiver, or a friend. All right, great. Now that we've reread, I want you to think about how you would explain Black women's role in the suffrage movement. And I want you also to think about how despite the 19th Amendment, there was still inequality in the United States. Remember, inequality means the lack of equality in circumstances. Okay, so thinking about those things, I want you to think about what is going to be the main idea that you really want to share. And then think about what phrases from the text would you use to support that main idea. So remember, you're really thinking about how would you explain Black women's roles in the suffrage movement, and to think about how despite the 19th Amendment, how was there still inequality in the United States? All right, pause this video and think about these things. All right, great. Now that you've thought about what is the big main idea you want to share, and you've thought about what details or phrases that you want to use to help support your main idea, let's do a little talking. Let's discuss this. So with a family member, a caregiver, or friend, I want you to talk about the following questions. First question. What are the most important main ideas of the article we've been reading this week? Also want you to talk about what are the most important supporting details. Go ahead, stop this video now or pause the video now and talk about these two questions. What are the most important ideas that you can get from this article? And what are the most important supporting details? All right, great. Hopefully you talked about how women's roles, and especially Black women's roles, were really important in this movement, and how it was a hard-fought victory, and how this movement really led to further movements of really helping to do away with the inequality in the United States. Okay. Now I want you to talk about what words or phrases from the text would best support your main idea. All right, pause this video and talk now. Great. You might have gone into that article and you might said, hey, I think when I'm really thinking about my main idea I want to share, I want to use our phrase that we've been talking about this week, how it's been a breakthrough for American government, or it's been breakthrough for women. So maybe those are some of the phrases. Maybe you want to use the phrase hard-fought victory. All right, so now that we've started to talk about and still grow these ideas, I want us to look at the writing activity we're going to do. Using the Lesson 9 writing activity, write 3 to 4 sentences that describe Black women's roles in the suffrage movement and how inequality was still present. When you are finished, practice reading your sentences out loud to a family member, a caregiver, or a friend. I wanted to remind you, we're going to speak clearly and fluently. All right, so if you look, you're going to develop these ideas and really capture your main idea of how you would describe the Black women's roles in the suffrage movement and capture how inequality was still present. And make sure that you support these with details from the text. All right, pause this video and do this writing activity now. All right, great. Now you've been able to write, remember, in an organized fashion, really helping to describe Black women's roles in the suffrage movement and this idea that inequality was still present and there was still work to be done, right? Also, you got a chance to read this aloud to your family member, caregiver, or friend so that you can continue to practice your speaking skills. Remember, we want to speak clearly and fluently. All right, great. Now that we've done this work, once again, I want you to share your writing with someone. Choose someone else. Continue to practice this. Tell them why you chose to write what you did. After you complete your assignment, remember to read a book with a family member, a caregiver, or a friend for at least 20 minutes. And then we're also going to practice our fluency. So use a timer. It can be a cell phone timer, a kitchen timer, or have someone count to 60. Read the passage for 1 minute. Count the words you read and write the number at the top of the text. Now this number should be higher than all your other numbers this week, or all the amount of words that you've read this week, because you've been able to practice, get quicker, increase your fluency. I've had such a great time with you this week, and I look forward to seeing you next week when we dive into a new text to continue to think about this idea of inequality in the United States and how ratifying the 19th Amendment really helped this movement and how we responded to the inequality. All right, see you next week.